Hello, everybody. My name is Soham Jain, and this is Code Entropy. On today's video, we are going to be creating a fully functional website using Visual Studio Code that includes JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. If you haven't checked out the previous video, which was the welcome video for this channel, I will put the link in the description below. That video will explain what this channel is about and what we are going to cover in the future. Don't worry if you have no experience with VS Code or any of these programming languages, because this tutorial will cover everything you need to know. First, we can begin by typing Visual Studio Code into our Chrome browser. So the first link will pop up that's from the Visual Studio Code website. Currently, I'm using a MacBook device, so all I would have to do is click on this button, but if you're using Windows or Linux, it should work the same way. So pause this video right now and download Visual Studio Code and follow the steps that come up on your screen. Okay, so once you've gone ahead and downloaded Visual Studio Code, what we need to do is create a folder to hold all of the classes that we're going to be using to create this website. So what I can do is, if you're on a Mac, then you can right click and create a new folder. But if you're on a Windows device, then you can do the same and save this folder in your downloads. So right here we've created this folder. Right now it's untitled, so we can rename it and we can call this application. So this is the folder that's going to store all the classes from our application. So we can go ahead and move this over to downloads. So now that we have this application, we can go into Visual Studio Code and start working on this website. So once Visual Studio Code is done downloading, this is the first screen that you should see. So in order to open the folder that we just created, we can click this button that says Open and search in our downloads for application. So if we make our way over to downloads, and we can see right here, application. So we can open this folder, and you should be able to open it with Windows or Linux as well. And we can X out this get started. And if you hover over this icon right here, you should be able to create a new file, and we can call that index.html. So in this index.html, we're going to start creating our website, and this is where the code for our home page is going to be. And that's why it's called the index. So in order to just bring in our code, all you need to do is type this exclamation mark and click enter. And by doing that, we've already seen a lot of the code that we need to get started on our website. So this word document right here is the title of the tab. So for example, if we look at this tab, the title would be Visual Studio Code, Code Editing Redefined. And for us right now, the title is document. So we can go ahead and change that to application, just so we get another name for our tab, and we can save what we have so far. But the problem is we're not able to actually see what our website looks like. So in order to do this, we can download an extension with this icon right here. And in the search box, we can type open in browser. So what this extension right here, the first one, allows you to do is essentially look at what you're creating with your HTML, JavaScript, or CSS file, and you're able to visualize what your website looks like. So I already have this extension installed, but if you don't, then go ahead and install it. And once you have that extension installed, you can go back to index.html, and we should be able to open it over here. So all you need to do is right click on anywhere inside the class and click open in default browser. So once you go ahead and click that, you should see this blank screen because we have nothing on our website right now, but the tab should say application. Now we want to actually have some text on the screen so we can visualize what we're doing to our website. So in order to add text, we can create a new line inside head and write text. And as you can see, everything is normally surrounded by these bracket sort of symbols. And inside of that, if we write something like hello world, then we'll see that if you refresh the website, then we have this text right here that says hello world. But obviously the font does not look good right now and the positioning is kind of weird. So the first step we can do is actually try to customize what these words look like. So what you need to do is create a CSS file. So this is why HTML and CSS normally go hand in hand. So if I click here and create a new CSS file called styles.css, we will be able to actually style the text that we have right now. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this text that we wrote before and write in the code that we need to activate the styles.css. So you're going to want to type the same thing that I'm typing right now, styles.css. Okay, so this links the styles.css to what we're typing right now. And if we type header 1 and type hello world again, and as you'll see, it updates on the website. So now it's looking a little bit better because this is the default for what the first header looks like. But let's say we want to customize this. If we want to change the color, for example, from something from that's black to possibly red, then we can go into our styles.css and initialize this header 1 that we've created before. And we can type in this color red. And you'll see that it's already showing the color, so you can actually move around the RGB values and it'll automatically update. So let's say that we want to go with this shade of red. So you can click save, and if we refresh the website again, it changed the color. And if we want to change the color to say something that's a brighter color, then you can save that, refresh, and there you go. The color is changing. So what we're going to do first is create a good looking title page for our website. And if we want this to look a little bit nicer, we can update what we have in styles.css and also change the background and font color. So let's say we want the background color to be black. We can go ahead in our body and say that the style should be background color black. So now we've changed the background color to be black, and if we save that and go ahead and update our website, you can see the background is now black. And we should change the font color and change the font overall as well as where it's positioned. And in order to do that, since we already have h1 and styles.css, we can first change the color to be white. Then we should also change this text to be centered. So in order to center the text, we can do text align and center. So this will center what we have. And then if we want this text to be a little bit lower on the screen, we can do padding top. And what padding does is it can move what we have, like the text or the images, in any direction you want. And we can add the padding to the direction that you don't want the text or images to be. So if we want to move it lower, we can do padding top. And we can set this to, let's say, 30 pixels. And we have to add this px at the end because it's the number of pixels that we're moving it down. And we can also change the font. So if we do font family, we can choose whichever font we want. I can just go ahead and choose this font. And if we save this, we've updated a lot of the text. So before it used to look like this, and now our text looks a little bit like this. We can also change the size of the text. So if we do font size and we change that to be, let's say, 70 pixels, then you can see that the font is much larger than what it was before. So we can change the wording as well to be application. So now we have the text for our application and it looks so much nicer than what it did before. And we can go ahead and create a navigation bar now so that we have multiple tabs in our website. To begin creating this navigation bar, the first thing that we're going to do is create a header, and this header will be where the navigation bar is. So first we're going to write some text that we're going to put in the left side of our navigation bar. So for now, we'll just say application, and we wrote this h2 so that we can assign the styles later. And inside this, we'll have this navigation bar, so nav for navigation, and then we'll also have a UL. And here, this is where we can start linking the different words in our navigation bar. So we're going to do href equals, and for now, we're not going to link anything inside our navigation bar, but we'll just write home, and this will just direct us to the home page. And we can have another one for about us, and this is where we're going to write our information, including text and images. And we can have an our team, just so we can put images of the team that's working on this project. And lastly, we can have a contact us. And later in the series with the contact us, we can create this form that allows users to type in a message that they want to send to the creator of the website, and it will directly go into their email. So we have this contact us as well. And now we're pretty much done with what we need in index.html. If we refresh, as you can see right now, it looks completely not like what we want this navigation bar to look like. So we can move over to styles.css and start styling what we want our navigation bar to look like. So the first thing I'm going to do at the top is assign the body, HTML. So we want to take advantage of the entire screen. So we're going to make the margins 0 and also the padding 0. So now we have a margin and padding of 0. And we can also create styles for H2, which is where we wrote application. And we want this to be in the left side of our navigation bar. So what we can do is say float left. And we can have a margin left as well of 48 pixels, which is what I think is reasonable, and also a margin top of 15 pixels. Then we can have a font size of 30. Alright, so this would be margin top, and then we want a font size of 30 pixels. And we also want the font family. So we can choose any of the font families, whichever one we think looks nice. So I'm going to choose the MacBook font. And after we have our font family, we can also go ahead and add the color. So we want the color of the text to be black. And we're going to assign this position to be absolute so it stays on this navigation bar. So we have styled everything that we need for this header, the second header. And now we're going to do a style for what's called the header, which is going to be the entire navigation bar. So the top, that's just going to span across. And we want the width to obviously be 100%, just so it spans across the entire top of the screen. And then we also want a height of 75 pixels. And then we'll assign the background color to be 52CE77. And you can choose whatever color you want, really. I just think that this color looks nice so that we can have sort of a black and green theme. So we have this background color right here. And we can also, for UL, have a width of auto. And we want to assign the margin top to be, we can say 10 pixels. And then a float of right. Okay, so our rest of our text in the navigation bar will be towards the right. And in header 2, it'll be towards the left of the navigation bar. So now we also want to style our LI. So we want the display to be inline block. And for our padding, we can do 15 pixels and 30 pixels. Okay, now the last thing we have to do is style the text in the navigation bar. So we can do text align to be center, and we want the color to be black in our navigation bar. And we don't want any text decoration because as you can see right now, we have kind of these colors when we click on it and also these underlines. And so we want to do no text decoration and a font family of, we can choose whatever font family we want, but we can do Trebuchet for this one. And lastly, we want a font size of 24 pixels. All right, so we're done styling everything that we need. So we saved that and voila. So this looks pretty nice right now as our navigation bar. I think that these four items right here are a little bit too down, so we can go ahead and change that a little bit from the margin top to be around 7 pixels, I would say. Yeah, so that's a lot better. And we have completely made this navigation bar. Right now, clicking on any of these won't do anything because we're already on this home screen. But what we want to do next is actually add links for the rest of the items. So we have 4 different pages that we can go to by clicking the items on the navigation bar. Okay, so now before we move on to actually making each of these buttons in our navigation bar work, we're going to want this navigation bar to always show up at the top whenever we're scrolling through our website, and we don't want the user to have to scroll all the way to the top and access this navigation bar. So to show you what I'm talking about, what we can do is just spam this header that we've written, and as you can see, we can scroll through our website, but if we ever want to access the navigation bar, we have to scroll all the way back up to the top and access it. But in order to solve this, we can change our header for the position to be fixed. And the problem if we just do this is that although it'll always be there, there's this margin at the top. So what we can do is top 0, and there's no more margin, and we're able to scroll through our website freely. So it looks a lot nicer now that we have done this. And what we can do is go ahead and reset what we had just done. And if we want to add a little bit of a space between the navigation bar and our text, then we can just do this break right here and it'll add an empty line. And if we want to do another one, we can just add another break. And this is pretty much what we had before. And now if we scroll through our website, our navigation bar will always be there. And the next thing that we want to do is make each of these buttons actually do something. So first, we can create a new HTML class, and we can call this about.html. And this will just be for our About Us page. And we can go ahead and copy the same code we have. And here we can call this home because this is our home page. And we can go ahead and call this the About Us. And this text should show up when we go to each of these pages. But right now it's only going to show home, and we're not going to be able to do anything because we actually have to link these buttons. So I'm going to first link the home button to index.html in both of these classes. And next, in order to link the About Us page, all we have to do is type about.html, and we can do the same over here, about.html. And if we save both of these classes and refresh, this is what we have right now. If we click About Us, you'll see that we're in the About Us page. And if we go back to Home, then we're back in the Home page. And another feature that we should probably add is change what's written at the top here. So if we change the title to be home, and then change the title over here to be about us, then you can see that right now it says home, and then it changes to about us. And we can change this to say application on both of these. And that's how you can customize what the tab looks like, as well as the navigation bar and the pages. And later on, we're going to change this icon as well, so you can add your own custom icon. So now we want to add the other two pages, our team and contact us. So we can do a new file and then do team.html and copy over the same code. And we can add another class called contact.html and copy the same code here as well. But now we want to link all of our classes. So we can go ahead and do team.html here and contact.html. And we can copy these 4 lines to all of our classes just so we have the correct links. And if we copy it over, now we have finished this navigation, but in order to customize what's written on each of the screens, we can do our team, and again over here we can write our team. And lastly, we just need to customize the contact us page. So contact us and contact us. Okay, so now we can just go ahead and see if everything we've done is working. So if we go to index.html, right now it says home, about us, it's about us, our team shows, and same with contact us. So we've pretty much begun creating the basics of our website because we have this navigation bar and we have each of our pages that look pretty nice as of now. And the next step is just to customize what our website look like and actually change the information inside the pages. So please go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button and stay tuned for part 2 of this series where we use HTML and CSS to create our own website. And in the future, we're also gonna create our own custom domain for this and add a bunch of features for the contact page, our team page, about us, and this home page that we have right here. So comment down below any suggestions you have for future videos. And that's it from me. My name is Soham Jain, and this was Code Entropy.